Picture this, waking up every morning with energy and enthusiasm, fully confident that today, just like yesterday, you'll get closer to achieving your goals. No more doubts or hesitations, just a clear path towards success. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, this is the kind of life Denis Waitley invites us to create in his self-help classic, The Psychology of Winning. It's not about luck, external validation, or temporary motivation. It's about mastering the mindset and behaviors that make success a natural outcome of how you live. In this video, we're going to break down the powerful lessons from the psychology of winning. Lessons that can transform how you think, act, and ultimately live your life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, someone on a personal development journey, or just looking to improve your overall well-being, the principles in this book offer a clear roadmap to winning. So let's dive in. Introduction. Before we jump into the details, let's talk about the man behind the message, Denis Waitley. Waitley is not just an author, but a world-renowned speaker and consultant in the field of personal development. He has spent decades studying the behaviors, attitudes, and mindsets that distinguish successful people, whether they're athletes, entrepreneurs, or everyday high achievers. His goal is simple: to show us how we can tap into these winning traits ourselves. In The Psychology of Winning, Waitley argues that success is not something reserved for a select few. Instead, it's the result of cultivating specific mental habits and behaviors. The book outlines 10 powerful principles that winners consistently practice in their everyday lives, ranging from self-discipline and motivation to the way they view challenges and setbacks. But what makes this book truly timeless is that the principles apply to all aspects of life. Whether you're looking to excel in your career, relationships, or health, these lessons can help you get there. Now let's walk through each of these 10 principles in detail, exploring not just what they mean, but how you can apply them to your own life. I'll take you through each chapter, breaking down the key takeaways and offering insights that will help you internalize these winning behaviors. Chapter 1, Positive Self-Expectancy. Let's start with one of the most powerful principles, positive self-expectancy. If you've ever watched a successful person in action, you may have noticed that they carry themselves with a certain confidence. It's not arrogance, but rather a deep-seated belief that they're going to succeed. This belief, as Denis Waitley explains, is the foundation of all winning behaviors. What is self-expectancy? At its core, it's the expectation that you will achieve what you set out to do. It's the belief that no matter the challenges, you'll come out on top. But this isn't just wishful thinking. Waitley emphasizes that your expectations influence your actions. When you believe in a positive outcome, you naturally take steps to make it happen. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. You expect success, so you act in ways that lead to success. To understand this better, let's consider an example. Think about a salesperson who believes they will close every deal. This doesn't mean they're delusional. It means they walk into every meeting with confidence. They prepare thoroughly, and they present themselves in a way that makes their clients trust them. Their positive expectation influences how they interact with others, leading to better results. Compare that to a salesperson who expects to fail. Even if they don't say it out loud, their body language, tone of voice, and lack of enthusiasm will likely push potential clients away. This principle applies to every area of life. If you expect good things to happen, you'll approach situations with optimism and energy. You'll be more resilient in the face of setbacks because you'll view them as temporary roadblocks rather than permanent failures. So how can you cultivate positive self-expectancy? Waitley suggests a few key strategies. First, visualize success. Picture yourself achieving your goals in vivid detail. What does it look like? How does it feel? The more clearly you can see your success, the more real it will feel to you. Second, surround yourself with positive influences. If you spend time with people who expect great things for themselves and for you, it will reinforce your own expectations. And finally, practice affirmations, short, positive statements that reinforce your belief in your abilities. These might sound simple, but over time they help rewire your brain to expect success. Chapter 2, Positive Self-Motivation. If self-expectancy is the foundation of winning, then positive self-motivation is the fuel that keeps you going. We all know that motivation can be fleeting. Some days you feel unstoppable, while other days, even the smallest tasks feel overwhelming. But what separates winners from everyone else is their ability to motivate themselves consistently, even when they don't feel like it. Waitley describes motivation as an inner drive. Winners are driven by something deeper than just external rewards. Sure, the idea of getting a promotion, earning more money, or receiving recognition might be motivating in the short term, but true winners are motivated by a sense of purpose. They know why they're doing what they're doing, and that purpose pushes them to keep going, even when things get tough. Let's take the example of a marathon runner. Running 26.2 miles is no easy feat. While some runners might be motivated by the thought of crossing the finish line or earning a medal, the most successful marathoners are motivated by something deeper, the desire to push their limits, to challenge themselves, and to prove what they're capable of. It's this deeper motivation that gets them through the grueling hours of training and the pain they feel during the race. How can you tap into this kind of motivation in your own life? Waitley suggests starting with your why. Why do you want to achieve your goals? If your goal is to start a business, for example, ask yourself why. Is it just for the money? Or is it because you want to create something meaningful, solve a problem, or make an impact in the world? The more you can connect with a deeper purpose, the easier it will be to stay motivated, even when the going gets tough. Another key part of self-motivation is setting clear, achievable goals. Winners don't just have vague dreams. They set specific, measurable goals and break them down into smaller, actionable steps. This keeps them focused and gives them a sense of progress, which fuels their motivation even further. And remember, it's important to celebrate small wins along the way. Each step you take toward your goal is a victory in itself, and recognizing those victories will help keep your motivation high. Chapter 3. Positive Self-Image. Next, we move to positive self-image. How you see yourself plays a huge role in how you show up in the world. Winners have a clear and healthy self-image. They understand their strengths and weaknesses, and they accept themselves fully. This doesn't mean they think they're perfect, but rather that they have confidence in their abilities while remaining open to growth and improvement. Self-image is like an internal mirror. If you constantly see yourself as someone who is not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable, that's how you'll act. But if you see yourself as capable, confident, and worthy of success, that's how you'll behave. Waitley explains that your self-image shapes everything from your body language to the risks you're willing to take. Think of it this way. If you were to walk into a room full of strangers, how would you behave if you believed you had nothing valuable to contribute? You'd likely stay quiet, avoid eye contact, and wait for someone else to take the lead. But if you walked into that same room with the belief that you had something important to share, you'd engage in conversations, share your ideas confidently, and make connections. The difference lies in your self-image. Developing a positive self-image starts with self-awareness. You need to take a good, hard look at how you view yourself. What are the stories you've been telling yourself about who you are? Are those stories empowering or limiting? If you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, it's time to rewrite that narrative. One practical exercise Waitley suggests is to practice positive self-talk. Instead of criticizing yourself or focusing on your shortcomings, start affirming your strengths. For example, if you've been telling yourself, "I'm terrible at public speaking," change that narrative to something like, "I'm improving my public speaking skills every day." Over time, this positive self-talk will start to reshape your self-image. Another important aspect of self-image is how you handle failure. Winners don't let failure define them. They understand that failure is a part of growth, and they don't take it personally. Instead of seeing failure as proof that they're not good enough, they see it as a learning experience. This mindset allows them to bounce back quickly and keep moving forward. Chapter 4. Positive Self-Direction. Let's talk about positive self-direction. Winners don't drift aimlessly through life. They have a clear sense of purpose and direction. They know what they want, and they create a plan to get there. In other words, winners are goal-oriented. They don't just set vague aspirations. They define specific, actionable goals that guide their actions and decisions. Think about it like this. Imagine you're setting out on a road trip. If you don't have a map or a clear destination in mind, you'll likely end up lost or wandering aimlessly. But if you know exactly where you're going and you have a plan for how to get there, the journey becomes much smoother. The same is true in life. If you don't have clear goals, you're likely to drift from one thing to the next without making much progress. Waitley emphasizes the importance of setting SMART goals, goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific goals give you a clear target to aim for, while measurable goals allow you to track your progress. Achievable goals ensure that you're setting yourself up for success, and relevant goals keep you focused on what really matters. Finally, time-bound goals create a sense of urgency and help you stay on track. But setting goals is just the first step. Winners also break down their big goals into smaller, actionable steps. This is important because big goals can often feel overwhelming. For example, if your goal is to start a business, that might feel like a huge, daunting task. But if you break it down into smaller steps, such as researching your market, creating a business plan, and building a website, it becomes much more manageable. Another key part of self-direction is staying flexible. Even the best-laid plans can change, and winners know how to adapt when necessary. They're not rigid in their approach, but they stay focused on their ultimate goal. This allows them to navigate obstacles and setbacks without losing sight of their direction. Chapter 5. Positive Self-Control. Now let's dive into positive self-control, the ability to manage your emotions and impulses. In a world full of distractions, self-control is more important than ever. It's what allows winners to stay focused on their goals, even when temptations and challenges arise. Self-control is often thought of in terms of resisting temptations, but it's much more than that. It's about managing your emotional reactions, staying calm under pressure, and making thoughtful decisions rather than impulsive ones. Winners understand that emotional intelligence is just as important as intellectual intelligence when it comes to success. Let's say you're in a high-pressure situation at work. Maybe you're dealing with a difficult client or a tight deadline. Your initial reaction might be to panic or get frustrated, but winners know how to keep their emotions in check. They take a step back, assess the situation, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Waitley explains that self-control is a muscle that can be strengthened with practice. One of the best ways to build self-control is through mindfulness, becoming more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and impulses. When you are mindful, you can catch yourself before reacting emotionally or impulsively. Instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions, you take a moment to pause, reflect, and choose the best course of action. Self-control also involves managing your time and energy. Winners know how to prioritize their tasks and stay focused on what matters most. They don't get sidetracked by distractions or procrastination. Instead, they use their time wisely and stay committed to their goals. Chapter 6. Positive Self-Discipline. While self-control helps you manage your impulses, positive self-discipline is what keeps you on track toward your long-term goals. It's the ability to consistently take action, even when you don't feel like it. As Waitley points out, motivation may come and go, but discipline is what ensures you keep moving forward. Self-discipline is often misunderstood as something that only tough or hardcore people have. But in reality, anyone can develop self-discipline with the right mindset and habits. It's not about forcing yourself to work nonstop. It's about building routines and habits that make it easier to stay on track. Think about athletes who train for years to compete at the highest level. They don't rely on motivation alone to get up early and hit the gym every day. Instead, they've built habits that make it second nature. Even when they don't feel like training, they show up because they've ingrained discipline into their routine. One of the most effective ways to build self-discipline is by creating a daily routine. Winners don't leave things to chance. They structure their days in a way that aligns with their goals. This might mean setting aside specific time blocks for focused work, exercise, or personal development. By creating a routine, you eliminate the need for constant decision-making, which conserves your mental energy and makes it easier to stay disciplined. Another key to self-discipline is learning to delay gratification. Winners understand that achieving big goals often requires short-term sacrifices. They're willing to put in the hard work today for the rewards that will come tomorrow. This ability to delay gratification is what sets them apart from those who give up too soon. Chapter 7. Positive self-esteem. Self-esteem is the cornerstone of confidence, and positive self-esteem is a crucial trait of winners. But here's the thing, self-esteem isn't just about feeling good about yourself. It's about valuing yourself enough to take action, face challenges, and push through difficulties. Winners have a strong sense of self-worth. They believe they're capable of achieving their goals, and they don't let setbacks or criticism shake that belief. This doesn't mean they think they're perfect. In fact, winners are often their own toughest critics, but they don't let self-doubt paralyze them. Instead, they use it as fuel to keep improving. Waitley explains that self-esteem is built through action. Every time you take a step toward your goals, whether it's completing a project, learning a new skill, or simply following through on a commitment, you're building your self-esteem. The more you accomplish, the more confident you become in your abilities. One of the biggest challenges to self-esteem is comparison. It's easy to look at others and feel like you're falling short, but winners don't compare themselves to others. They focus on their own progress. They understand that everyone is on their own journey, and the only person they need to compete with is themselves. Building self-esteem also means being kind to yourself. Winners don't beat themselves up over mistakes. They learn from them and move on. They practice self-compassion, recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of growth. Chapter 8. Positive Self-Dimension. Winners understand that life is about more than just personal success. In Positive Self-Dimension, Waitley emphasizes the importance of expanding your horizons, learning new things, and contributing to something greater than yourself. This principle is all about continuous growth. Winners are lifelong learners. They're always looking for ways to improve, whether it's by developing new skills, seeking out new experiences, or expanding their knowledge. They're not satisfied with staying in their comfort zone. They actively seek out opportunities to grow and evolve. But growth isn't just about personal development. It's also about making a positive impact on the world around you. Winners recognize that true success isn't just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about how you contribute to others. Whether it's through mentoring, volunteering, or simply being a positive influence on those around them, winners understand the importance of giving back. This sense of contribution is often what gives winners a deeper sense of purpose. When you know that your actions are making a difference, it fuels your motivation and keeps you focused on your goals. Chapter 9. Positive Self-Awareness. In Positive Self-Awareness, Waitley teaches us the importance of understanding ourselves, our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Winners are deeply self-aware. They know their strengths and weaknesses, and they're constantly reflecting on their actions to see where they can improve. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It allows you to recognize your emotional triggers and manage your reactions. Instead of letting emotions control them, winners use their self-awareness to stay grounded and make thoughtful decisions. But self-awareness isn't just about managing emotions. It's also about understanding your motivations. Winners are constantly asking themselves, why am I doing this? What do I really want to achieve? This clarity allows them to stay focused on what matters most. One of the best ways to develop self-awareness is through reflection. Winners regularly take time to reflect on their actions, decisions, and progress. This might mean journaling, meditating, or simply taking a few minutes each day to think about what's working and what's not. By developing this habit of reflection, you can gain deeper insights into yourself and make more informed decisions. Chapter 10. Positive Self-Projection. Finally, we arrive at positive self-projection, the ability to present yourself confidently and positively to the world. How you project yourself matters. Winners know that their body language, tone of voice, and communication skills all play a role in how others perceive them. Think about the most successful people you know. They likely have a presence that commands attention and respect. This isn't just about charisma, it's about projecting confidence and positivity in every interaction. When you project confidence, others are more likely to trust and believe in you. Waitley explains that self-projection isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being authentic while showcasing your strengths. Winners don't try to hide their weaknesses or overcompensate. They simply present themselves as they are, with confidence and integrity. One practical tip for improving your self-projection is to work on your communication skills. This means not only speaking clearly and confidently, but also listening actively and engaging with others in a meaningful way. When you can communicate effectively, you build stronger relationships and create opportunities for success. Key insights. After walking through each of these powerful principles, it's clear that the psychology of winning is more than just a book. It's a blueprint for personal mastery. The key insights we can take away are: 1. Your mindset shapes your reality. By expecting success, you set yourself up for success. Positive self-expectancy leads to positive actions, which lead to positive outcomes. 2. Self-motivation comes from within. True motivation comes from a sense of purpose, not external rewards. When you connect with your why, staying motivated becomes second nature. 3. Self-discipline is key to consistency. Motivation may come and go, but self-discipline ensures that you keep moving forward, even on tough days. 4. Confidence is built through action. Every small step you take toward your goals builds your confidence and strengthens your self-esteem. 5. Continuous growth leads to fulfillment. Winners are lifelong learners who constantly seek out new experiences and opportunities to grow. They also understand that true success comes from contributing to something greater than themselves. By adopting these principles and making them a part of your daily life, you can transform your mindset and start winning in every area of your life. Whether you're focused on personal development, entrepreneurship, or improving your health and relationships, the psychology of winning offers timeless lessons that can help you reach your full potential. So, are you ready to take the first step toward becoming a winner? Let's make it happen.